I'd like to welcome you all to the 2012 Athens City Political Forum. My name is Sandy Thompson. I'm the director of the Alabama Veterans Museum. Tonight's event was organized by the Limestone County Chamber of Commerce in cooperation with Athens State University, the Alabama Veterans Museum, and the Athens News Courier. At this time, would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be seated, please. Tonight's forum, we are going to only spotlight our local candidates. We are going to have another forum later on in the year for our national and state elections. But tonight is just the local candidates. I know we're all ready to get started, so I'd like to introduce our moderator. Our moderator tonight is retired attorney Jerry Barksdale. He's also a local author and newspaper columnist. Jerry, thank you for agreeing to moderate for us. And I will be our timekeeper, so we're on a tight schedule, so when you hear the ding, you can go ahead and finish your sentence, but please don't start another one, okay? And you know how I am if you came to the last one, so I will be dinging you. Okay. At this time, I'll turn it over to Jerry, who's going to explain the rules and give us a brief explanation of how the forum will be, and then we'll get started. Thanks again for coming, and take it away, Jerry.
Thank you very much, Sandy. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope y'all are in a good mood. You seem to be. We're going to have fun. You know, Limestone County has a tradition of being very serious about politics. I remember when I was a kid growing up in the 50s, we didn't have political forums. We had political rallies. And each beat would usually sponsor a rally, and it was usually the Ladies' Home Demonstration Club that would do it. And they would just heap all this homegrown, home-cooked food on the tables, and cakes, and pies, and puddings, and young people would court and outside and try to get dates, and the older women would talk about their children and their grandchildren and making quilts, and the men folks, they would be talking about their cotton yield for the year. And there was very little information that was ever, useful information that was ever imparted at these things, but everybody had a great time. And but there was one thing, I remember this. If a candidate forgot, because they were nervous, to thank the ladies for all the food that was prepared, you could bet that they would lose that box. And there was one box, it was over across the river, of course. You know, all the sophisticated folks in Limestone County live in a certain section in Athens and Mooresville and down that area. I'm from across the river too, so I can talk about it. There was one box, Pleasant Valley box, that was called the Skinhead Beat. And the reason that they called it the Skinhead Beat was that on Sundays they went to church. On Tuesdays they started drinking and went to the polls to vote. And sometimes they'd get in fights. And I was talking to Mike Blakely about that today. And I said exactly where was Skinhead. He said just down the road from where I live over there. And he was telling me about it. He said, well, old man Green, he said, now that's Lisa Green's granddaddy. He said he used to bring whiskey to the polls, and he'd give everybody a drink of whiskey. So all these people politicked up, you know, and whiskeyed up, and so you didn't want to say anything bad about their candidate. But we're not going to do that tonight. We're a very sophisticated bunch of people. But I want to congratulate the candidates for offering themselves for office. Now, we all know that it is a job that is not appreciated. You don't get paid anything. And every morning, in every coffee shop in Athens, you're going to be dog-cussed for everything that you said and did And then when they get through with that, they're going to dog cuss you for everything that you didn't say, you should have said, and you didn't do. So it's a thankless job. But I'll tell you what, an informed and vigilant electorate like you, you're the foundation, you're the bulwark of our republic. And being here and participating in this is very important, and I congratulate you for doing it. Well, here are the rules. Here's the format. We will hear from the city council candidates first, because we all know that the mayor and all those people running, they're very important, so we'll get them last. They'll keep the crowd here. And we're going to hear by districts, beginning with District 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And they will speak in alphabetical order. For example, in District 1, Marty Bruce, you're first, alphabetically. Danny Crawford, second. Dr. Wayne Reynolds, third. Chris Seibert is fourth. And you'll notice that this is the left wing. The people sitting over here will be known as left-wingers. These over here will be known as right-wingers. But if you're out in the audience, from your perspective, these are right-wingers and these are left-wingers. So it all balances out. We're trying to be fair. All right, each candidate will get 1 minute to introduce yourself and say whatever you want to. Then after each candidate has made their 1 minute spiel, then I will ask in alphabetical order a question of each candidate. Then the second candidate will be asked the same question until all candidates have been asked the same question. Then we will go back and I will ask a second question. And it will be done in the same order alphabetically. Then each candidate will get a wild card question. I've got a list of the questions and I'll just say, whatever, hit one and say, and ask the question. And we'll see how well you respond to them. Now, the candidates have not seen these questions before. So everybody's getting a fair shot at it. There will be no questions from the audience. The timekeeper is retired Master Sergeant and Director of the Veterans Museum, Sandy, and she has a bell. If the bell rings in the middle of a sentence, feel free to go ahead, but after you finish your sentence, please stop, because we're trying to keep these down to 2-minute responses. All right. Now, after we go through all of the districts, number 5, then we'll call the candidates for mayor up, and we'll do the same thing, alphabetical order, 2 questions, wild card, 2 minutes to respond. All right. Now, do we have any questions from the candidates? Everybody know what we're going to do? Are we all ready to get started? All right. Well,